Sonia Anderson, welcome to Profile.
Thank you, Archie. Happy to be here.
So we've invited you because of your role in the Optimist movement. And for a lot of people, they may not be as familiar with the movement. What exactly is it that you do?
Optimist, we're a friend of youth and all that entails. Try to bring out the best in children, the communities from which they come from, and also ourselves. We help them to get scholarships. It's not always needy children, but we help them to get scholarships for universities. We have an oratorical contest, which at the local level, the winner, local meaning district level, the winner gets $2,500 US, and then moves on to the world class and can end up getting, if that contestant wins, $22,500, or it could have been $7,500.
And the various clubs are engaged in all sorts of different kinds of activities. You have been involved in these kinds of activities for over 25 years and playing an increasingly over time more and more important roles in the Optimist Club. So you started out just being an ordinary member and went on to do a lot of different kinds of things. What are some of the major roles that you played?
Well, I started out, as you say, as an ordinary member, just because my friend asked me to join. And then when she was president, she knew what I liked. And she invited me to help her put together a project award document, which was needed at the end of the year for clubs who wanted to be deemed distinguished. That was one of the requirements. So I went, did that. And what that did for me, when I sat at her dining table and looked at the document she had, the before, the after pictures, and realized that in St. Anne's Bay, which St. Anne had now become my home, my club was in St. Anne's Bay, in the capital, St. Anne's Bay, the sanitary facilities at this particular school, which they were trying to help, I couldn't believe it. I just didn't know. I was very naive.
You didn't have any idea that children were, having to survive or deal with these kinds of situations?
I didn't. And then I found out that for many of them, it wasn't better at home, So that made me get involved. Before, I was just there because she asked me.
So we're going to talk a little bit about how you got greater and greater, more and more involved, rather, and some of the major projects on which you worked. But moving from an ordinary member, you eventually became the president of your own club, then went on to become the governor, certainly at the regional level, and then an international president as well. When you look back at that sort of career, how does it make you feel?
Okay, let me just tell you, not being the international president,
Vice president, sorry.
Right. So it was president, just my club, and then lieutenant governor over a group of clubs. And that made me more excited because built better relationships, got to know more people. Then after that, I was the district secretary treasurer for the governor at the time, Cecile Hale. That's when I really learned the business of optimism, because sometimes our club members, they don't want to call governor because governor have whole heap of things. So they call the DST, and it forced me to learn everything about the organization that I had pledged to be a part of. after DST, I think I was might have been a committee chair, and then couple years later, I became governor of the Caribbean district. At that time, we're across 15 countries and many clubs, 80 clubs, not remembering exactly how many now. So went up that ladder, enjoyed every minute of it, but it was good for me because of the people who were there to support me. And we can never do this thing alone. When I was governor, myself and my DST, we used to arrange monthly or quarterly LTG meetings. Lieutenant governors in the district would come into our zone. We would feed them, chat, and then we discuss the business of optimism. And we got to know each other. We got to be family. The ones overseas didn't get to come, and it wasn't like in these days when we could Zoom. But we had them, we had committee chairs, specific ones at different meetings, and we really dug into what we needed to do to help the children of various communities.
And this is really interesting to me from the perspective that you didn't even want to do this. You told me that the first meeting you went to, it was because someone was nagging you. This wasn't something you were interested in doing at all. How come?
Yeah. I thought, when you think you just can't bother. My friend, she nagged me. She thought I would like. I used to go, though, not to the meetings, but I'd go to every function, which was bad. Just go to the functions, loved going to the functions. And I actually worked at the function. So I was getting a touch of it. But when because she knew me, asked me to do that thing, I was sold. I realized what was happening out there, how we could and should help. I don't know where this came from, if it's another service club, but service above self was my motto. It's not about me. I reached that stage pretty quickly after that first encounter with a project.
No, I have to take a break on Profile, but I want to continue after the break to talk about that issue of service above self, and just to step back for a moment and talk about how your roots, your early days growing up actually helped to cement that idea as well of working together, of the importance of family, of the importance of team. We're taking a break now on Profile. My guest is Sonia Anderson. She's a legend in the local optimist movement. Profile returns right after these messages.